Days after more than 80 people were killed in Plateau State, there has been another attack, this time leaving 52 confirmed deaths so far and many more injured. The latest incident on Sunday night was a brutal attack in Zike and Kimakpa communities in Bassa local government area. Reacting to this, President Bola Tinubu yesterday tasked Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang to summon the necessary political will to resolve the crisis in his state and establish enduring peace, saying the country can no longer ignore the underlying causes of the crisis. Also, Governor Caleb Mutfwang also called for calm following the attacks. He says proactive steps will be put in place to forestall further attacks.
At about midnight into early this morning, over 100 militia bandits descended on one of the communities in Kwal district of Bassa local government, leaving in their trail a number of dead bodies and destroyed houses. We've just deliberated and taken information, a debriefing from the heads of security on all that transpired, and we are trying to establish what actually happened, why it happened, so that we can be able to address the situation. At the moment, the situation there is calm, and we've tried to plead with the people, restrain them from any reaction that will further escalate the situation. And we are glad that the youth of that community were able to listen to us. At the moment, we are discussing very far-reaching decisions that we will take in order to avert possible future occurrences. Details of some of these decisions will be made available in my broadcast to the state tomorrow. In the meantime, I want to reassure the people of Plateau State that we are truly on top of this situation and will go to any length to be able to forestall further occurrence. At the moment, I'd like to encourage our people all over the state that please, whatever intelligence you pick up, no matter how irrelevant you think it is, please do let us know. We are ready to protect the source of our information so that no life will be in jeopardy, because we realize that if we don't get sufficient intelligence, we will not be able to react as we should.
We certainly do reiterate the call for calm and condole with those who are now bereaved. May the souls of the departed rest in peace.
May the souls of the departed rest in peace. But it is, of course, important that the governors step up. In saying this, this is a theme now, right? Rufai had that great interview with the governor of Zamfara that we aired yesterday. Insecurity was part of the conversation. We've talked, well, this is the third time now, or fourth time in about a week where we'll be talking about Benue later on today. Then you've got the situation in Plateau State. I don't know how many people listened to Sean Price. He's passed away, unfortunately, but he was on an album called Random Acts, which was a group they formed. And there's a particular song called The Hex. He has this line. He says, I'll pull out the piece and pop you, Papi, and you probably want peace like Mahatma Gandhi. There's a double entendre there where he's talking about peace like a gun, and you want peace like Gandhi, who was big on civil disobedience. I think about that line a lot when I think about the dichotomy of governors in Nigeria. they keep talking about how, security is really up to the federal government. I can't do much. But when you see a governor's convoy, try and step up and see if you can reach for a governor or touch him. You probably get shot on the spot, right? So when it comes to their personal convoys and when they move around, they've got the best security of anybody else. But then when insecurity happens in the country, they start appealing for peace. The buck stops with the governors, and I'm very much behind the president in telling the Plateau State governor that you need to step up and you need to improve. And this goes for Plateau State, it goes for Benue State, it goes for Zamfara, it goes for everywhere else. You are the executive governor, you're the CEO. Secure your states, get money, borrow, do what you can, get drones, get into the communities. The governors have to do better. Every week, we're doing this every single week. Another attack and another attack. We commiserate, prayers, this and that. They give a speech, we go back, the same thing happens again. The governors have to step up and they've got to do better.
For me, I totally disagree with Mr. President this morning. I think it's an abdication of responsibility. And I think President Tinubu has not done enough when it comes to insecurity. And I think the governor has no blame in this communal crisis matter. And the governors cannot really do much. Let's be sincere with ourselves. The federal government oversees the police. The same federal government will not like state security. Even if you get state security, you can't get them sophisticated weapons because of clause in the Constitution. Secondly, the military is overseen by the federal government. Yes, we can say governors have protection. They move around in convoys. Yes. But apart from their protection, the day this governor has a problem with the federal government, that's when you will know that he has no powers. We have seen with the case of Governor Fubara now. It's just one order from above. And they will manipulate even the security architecture on ground. Governor Muftwang, yes, should be able to talk to people communally. But the greatest blame falls on President Tinubu that is still in France, well over 100 people have died. What is he going to do about it? Is he going to put in more military? Do we even have boots on the ground? Little over 200 or 300,000 soldiers. Less than 400,000 police officers for a population of over 200 million. Are those areas effectively covered? What's the reconnaissance like? So once people got intelligence there were going to be a reprisal attack, what was done to forestall the reprisal attacks? Who fights back? You put a vigilante team in there, they will complain of high-handedness at some point. So who fights back? Who is able to protect the people of Bokos, Manga, Mangu, and a couple of other areas? And the people around the Rigwe area. All of this should go back to the president. Look at all the security personnel there, the military, the civil, what's it called, defense and everything. All of them get instruction from the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The governors are the chief security officers in name and only when they are in alignment with the government of the center. So you see, a governor that pretty much gets his way by is in alignment with the government of the center. If the government of the center want to mess you up, you will see what happens. Before you know it, they withdraw security so quickly from you. So there's no true level of, federalism. And I hate to use the word true federalism because it doesn't exist in the first place. The solutions will be number one. How do we put a response force across local government areas that can alert people when there are these attacks so that they can be repelled quickly? Secondly, are we going to put some vigilante units on the ground, and who is going to be able to fund them? Thirdly, the intercommunal conversation and all of that. Most importantly, these people that come to attack, how do they get the weapons? It's the federal government that will do the work of taking the weapons off them in the first place. So order, weaponry architecture, and illegal movement of weapons must be stopped. But how are they going to do this? It's the federal government through the DSS and other intelligence apparatchik that will have to do that. What I just want to tell President Tinubu this morning, are you not tired of condemning deaths in this country? The other day, you issued out a statement, condemn deaths. Today, you are issuing another statement, condemning deaths. When will you stop issuing statements to condemn death and actually get on top of the situation and be proactive? President Tinubu, Section 14, subsection 2 says, the security of the Federal Republic of Nigeria is the paramount responsibility of the states. You are the head of states. The buck stops with you. Do something.
All right. Now, let's take a look at how things have been unraveling in Plateau State. We've now reached a death toll of over 300 since December 2023, when that horrible Christmas massacre took place. What are some of the developments that have taken place since then? Well, in 2023, the governor created the Agro Rangers, who were part of the Civil Defense Corps. And he accredits the Agro Rangers and their work for being able to keep these attacks at bay until now. Now, what are the key factors? We know that these attacks have been happening for over 2 decades. The governor is saying that this is a clear case of genocide and land grabbing. He said the timing is always the same, that these terrorists and criminals always come around the time to plant and kick these communities out so that they are unable to farm during the farming season. Beyond farming, there are also activities of illegal mining. Now, we need to put the region into context and remember that there are several nomadic groups that operate in the area and around the Sahara region in general. This is historic. Now, what the governor is saying is that there are now some criminal groups who are taking advantage of the cover of the nomadic groups to come and perpetrate all of these atrocities. Now, what are some of the factors we are looking at? We're looking at what used to be known as the issue of farmer-herder crisis. This is now being dispelled because he's saying that this is no longer farmer-herder because we have a clear case of terrorism, genocide, and land grabbing. We know that climate change is forcing these groups to move from certain parts in pursuit of more fertile areas. The question is, what are the solutions? The governor, I believe, has done his part in instituting the Agro Rangers. That's the most he can do. And he's trying to foster some sort of community spirit. But he reiterated that this Rui community, which was attacked, is the same community, part of the same community that lost 17 people in December 2023. Which shows you, excuse me, that these groups are attacking the same communities time and time again. They have their targets. They said that they attacked during a funeral when they were mourning the loss of a loved one in the afternoon. So they are now bold. They're not even waiting until the middle of the night. The governor acknowledged that the DIG operations for police is currently on the ground in Plateau State. Well, let's see what that does. But he also challenged the fact that the security services are largely reactive and not proactive. What are the solutions? When the Ministry of Livestock was created, the whole idea was around ensuring that the issue of herding can be contained, grazing, open grazing, all of those issues were supposed to be addressed because if you are able to address that issue, you'll now be able to separate between the herders, the criminals, and the terrorists. But now you have people who are bringing in sophisticated weaponry that is being trafficked from all over. Borders are porous. We don't know where these weapons are coming from. But the locals always acknowledge the fact that many of these people are not speaking local Nigerian languages. So this is a perennial problem that we now know that even if we date it back to history, nomadic groups have always existed. So as the president is saying that he's seeking the political, for the governor to look for a political will, I think that's quite an unfair statement. When we have an issue that is not stemming within the state, this is a regional issue. We know the situation regionally with security and with the movement of people from the Sahel region. So putting it on the governor's head is unfair because this is far bigger than him. If it's up to Governor Caleb Mutfwang, what's happening in Benue? What's happening in Borno? What's happening in all of the other states? If it comes down to the governors, it's bigger than that. And yes, there are deeper ethnic and religious undertones to it, which must be addressed, but they cannot be addressed at a singular state level. This is a regional dialogue that needs to happen, and sustainable solutions need to be found once and for all, but at a national level. We need to see the work of the Ministry of Livestock coming into play here to start to control the movement of herders and cattle so we can separate the criminals from the genuine herders.